Hello, everybody. It is that time of the week again. It is your illustrious host, Dragon's Fury and Infernal Drag.
Hope we all been having a good week.
And if not, we hope the episode helps. So, we are just going to hop right on into it. We are going to start a new series. It has been a while since we've done a dedicated series. And I felt like it was time, given the fact that we've done a lot of stuff since our last series. So this one's going to be a reevaluation of big shows that we used to watch back in the day. So depending on which age bracket you may be, this may be when you were a teen, this may have been when you were pre-teen, not a teen, or bystander adult because you're well past, and we're glad you're here because I don't know why would you be otherwise. But that's beside the point. So we're going to kick things off with a strong one, and I'm going to ruin it for you guys because we were bamboozled. And it's Teen Titans. And because of the fact of the existence of another one, it is specifically the 2003 to 2006 version of Teen Titans, not the sad excuse of a nightmare called Teen Titans Go! I Am Not Sorry.
It only went to 2006?
Yep.
Yeah. Damn, I thought it went longer.
3 years. The show ran for 3 years. 5 seasons. Give or take, with a movie.
It could have ran for so much longer.
I would have said a year, realistically.
At least one more season.
Yeah, so less than a year.
Yeah.
And we will get into that. So, like I said, it is we're spanning from 03 to 06. So, date yourself how you will of when that is. And we have the general synopsis of this show is, your 5 teenage superheroes doing what they do to save the world from a ridiculous amount of villains that are happening in the city. Like, it's stupid.
And eating some good pizza.
Allegedly. And, doing what they do. Upon further inspection of this show and, hindsight and, the wisdom of an adult, that whole show was just one giant manipulation plot, and I'm surprised we survived.
By Slade?
No, anybody. Slade being a giant portion of it, yes, but everything outside of, I think, episode 1 was literally someone being manipulated in some fashion. And like you said, Slade being
the biggest one.
Stupid amount of it because, he was the very, very pertinent villain of the series. So,
followed very closely by Trigon. Well, I mean, Trigon was like the big one.
He was a big bad, but he wasn't the big bad. Trigon.
I like referring to the brain.
That again, same. Slade was actually there. Slade was doing things, manipulating, interacting, showing up, and whatever. All the other ones is just kind of by the way on the back end. Trigon wasn't even that. It was just so I'm gonna show up because I'm pissed about what happened, right? Trigon being there had nothing really to do with what the Titans were doing outside of the fact that his daughter was there. Really did nothing else beside that. So that's why I said it's not really Trigon. And then, the brain guy from the back end, that was more of a rush job essentially, and I think they just kind of picked a villain that would be reasonable enough to say that, hey, they were the mastermind for all of these like random ass things that were happening that allegedly were tied together. But we'll get there later on in the series or whatnot. We got a lot of episodes and we got a lot of time. But like the main thing being that the whole show is just either a person being manipulated into something or multiple people mainly related to the team are being manipulated into something. And I mean, we're starting this stuff out like episode 2 kind of levels. And because
is that Blackfire?
Yep. That's when Blackfire shows up. And the whole reason Blackfire's there is because she's on some fuck shit and is trying to get it so that Starfire can take her place of what's happening. And then runs it back later in the seasons again.
Like, yeah, no. When she, like, after she got arrested and then later down the road came back as, I guess, the ruler of the planet, I'm just like, how did this happen?
Right, like, we didn't even see the manipulation of what was happening while she was like, yeah, she gets arrested. So, putting just all the gaps in it, right? So, she's on the run. She's on the lam. Comes to Earth, looking for Starfire, right? Sets her up to make it seem like she was the one who stole the things because the cops are just looking for it. Which, by the way, why is it that all cops in every iteration of anything always depicted to be freaking idiots? Like, you're tracking stolen goods and then you're just grabbing whoever has it at the time. Like, excuse me, you're
I mean, a great example of dumb cops are the ones from Johnny Test.
That too. There's so many iterations, and so you have they're just going all by. So now Starfire is about to get taken to prison. They finally get the right one out before literally the show's ruined, but plot armor. So yeah. She does that, right? She gets taken to intergalactic jail. Now the next thing is trying to figure out what the hell happened. So somewhere along the line, she either A, gets out of jail legally, like she just, serves the galactic time frame. Believed or not, it's one of the options. She does it legally and goes through the time or whatever. She's heated, and so now she goes back home and realizes that, hey, as the oldest daughter, I have a responsibility being the, expand of nations, marriage debacle nonsense where she's like, I ain't about that life, right?
It's like, that ain't me.
Yagity boos her way to the top and becomes ruler, changes the rule so that it has to be Starfire, marries her off to this literal booger who was supposed to be Blackfire's, husband-to-be, to ultimately find out that it was really to pay off a debt, which might be related to her being out of prison.
Yeah, so not legal.
No, you can be legal. You can be bailed out. That's legal.
Nah.
Infernal has other issues with justice systems, and we will talk about that later. You have, let's see, another, just blatantly obvious manipulation. The Nature Bros. Thunder and Lightning, right?
Geez, them.
Just, and which is, I believe, one of our first, iteration, encounters with Slade before we know it's Slade, right?
Yes, because at that point, he was disguising himself as, this, wise sage-looking dude.
Which technically isn't wrong. He does know all those things that he was doing.
Oh, he does. He does. But he was wearing the outfit. But yeah, we had no idea that was Deathstroke Slade at the time.
Right. So they're out here causing, mayhem left, right, center because they just think, hey, it's all fun and games. Deals with that. We have
Very
stuff with
godlike behavior.
like stuff with like alien beings with like collectors. They started introducing other characters like Aqualad and stuff like that, and that's a whole setup in and of itself because Aqualad is thinking, oh, we're being attacked by all this pollution for this. It's these people. Come to find out, no, it's actually this motherfucker over here causing just fuckery, and then now we're
Yeah.
just taking the fall for it. It,
Oh, brother blood.
the Brotherhood of Evil was another like big thing of, and that was after fact because first it's the Hive. So
Yeah, brother blood.
what was it? Yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking about like when he goes crazy, not just hey, here's a school of baddies. I meant hey, here's a school of replicas of
Oh,
Cyborg because he got obsessed.
no, I know, but that was his name,
Well,
and
yeah,
but yeah, I know he was the leader of the Hive, and then he decided that it's like, hey, I want to become like Cyborg,
it's like
which was that was
which was
that
the
was
biggest ego
that
thing.
part. It really was, and I'm just like, dude, do you really need to turn yourself into a cyborg?
Yes, he does. He needed it. You have the Hive, and then the thing with the Hive is that it's like that was Slade too. Like he was in on that. Like he's setting this whole thing. Like that's why he was like such a great villain because he has set so many things up that was just an actual problem for these guys. And the thing with Terra was him. The thing with Trigon was him, even though like it was still not. It was like technically not him, but it was him. Like he had his own plans in the first place. Like he set
Yeah,
that whole thing up of coming back in the first place. Like it was just disrespect, backstabbing, manipulation out the wazoo. The red X thing.
God, like the whole Red X thing was like honestly, it was cool to see. Though I also love the theories of like who took the Red X suit.
I mean,
Uh,
who did they have? Like as like what were the
well,
theories? I haven't seen any like theories of who
well,
stole it.
because I'm trying to remember because the Robin of ours is, I think he's Dick. Yeah, because I think the Robin is Dick. So some people are saying, oh,
Because
huh?
that's the one that becomes Nightwing, right? Dick is who becomes Nightwing, right?
Yes. Let me verify real quick. Please stand by.
do 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 do
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Dick Grayson became Nightwing.
Okay, so then
So
yes, that's who Robin is. It would be Dick Grayson.
yeah, so like there were some other like theories that like it could have been like Jason took the Red X suit. Um, and then like
Interesting.
yeah, which I mean, wouldn't put it too far from the attitude. So
Right, but that is inclined to believe that Jason is the same age, which I always believed they weren't.
I don't know. Okay. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. Okay.
Hilarious.
It's like how old is Dick Van Dyke? Well, that's
Nope.
a
That
wrong Dick.
Jesus Christ, that statement. Oh, I'm glad we're not famous enough where that would get clipped, because that's getting clipped like immediately. That
Please
that
don't clip that.
is that's getting clipped. If we hit that point and someone's just listening back and like that's definitely coming back, and I'm going to laugh just as hard.
Please no.
Oh God.
Uh, let's see. Okay, so Jason is actually a little bit younger than Dick, but older than Tim. Okay. I don't know the continuity when it comes to Teen Titans. Not really sure. Though then again, Teen Titans is doesn't it kind of take place in the same universe as Batman the animated series?
It's depending on which one, but yes, because there is. So it's more closely. Which one is it? I think it's the. Realistically, I think it's actually Justice League.
Well,
Um,
Batman the animated series is the same Batman that it's in Justice League.
yes. Okay, well, but I was going so as the fact that there was like I remember an actual line of someone asking where's Robin, and he was
Mm.
like, "Oh, he's with the Titans." So it like that is a time frame of was like the Teen Titans are existing at the same time of the events that's happening over in like in Justice League, that they are actively aware that Robin or one of the Robins should have
Yeah.
been with Batman, but they are over, with the Titans. So that would be very very interesting if because I never really did follow like the Bat Family of like when the rest of them came along, because it's especially when Damien shows up, because you're just like,
Oh yeah.
all right, mathematically, when the hell was this baby born? because because he's
Yeah.
so young, which would have meant, and they're like, oh, it's Ra's daughter, so it's like, okay, it had to have been some time when you were semi still dealing with them for training. And I'm like, okay, but he's only like, he's not a teenager yet, which means
Yeah.
you were actively fucking around literally
Mm.
with other children, like you adopted the other Robin. So it's just like, but like Damien is allegedly have come in after the other Robins have already been Robins. So it's like,
Yeah. Because like Damien comes after Tim, I think. Yeah, because it was Dick, Jason, then Tim, and then Damien, I think.
yeah. So it's just
I
like,
think that's the order.
I'm like, what? Like, when did this happen? Because that means he was just Bruce Wayne and about somewhere when some stuff was happening back at home that
Bruce, he's just like, oh, Dick can handle it.
the way you said that. Again,
Yeah,
because
I mean, this is what happens when you have DC Comics and wrong words are gonna come out that just are gonna sound so wrong.
Richard. His actual
Curse you,
name.
DC!
His name's Richard. They're just silly and always
Richard.
went with the nickname. It was like, how do you get Dick from Richard? You just ask. Got him.
Oh,
Now,
fucking hell. And with that, that's the end of the episode. Goodbye, guys.
could you imagine? That'd be our shortest episode yet. Um,
Yeah, that's how you end the episode.
that's it's like got him. um, but so continuity again, right? It's just one of those things where, like, that would be one of like the theories that I would need more people to like kind of get into, because that would go under the assumption that one of the other, Robin's, like, if it is Jason, that Jason was smarter than Tim. And it's like, no, not Tim, smarter than Dick. And it's like, was he? Because this wasn't I found it laying around or something. Nah, he was straight
No.
robbed.
Yeah, no. Like, so Jason is smart. Like, I mean, honestly, all the Robins are smart in their own way. Um, Honestly, I feel like the main difference between Dick and Jason is just like Jason's willing to use a little more violence compared to Dick.
But I, Jason always seemed more street smart. Like, he's like, I know how to
Oh,
find
that's for sure.
information in the bowels. I know how to make them talk or whatever. But this, for all intents, is see the issue I have with that is that what you're telling me is that some random person, for for all intents and purposes, it's a random person is just out here on the street that is effectively smarter than Cyborg after he's already upped his security protocols and defenses dealing with Gizmo, right? Who we already seen was technologically smarter than Cyborg. So what you're telling me is some Yahoo came along and stole from them under the same defensive line and all this stuff, because Robin was hiding it under their nose in the fucking tower. So somebody else came and broke into the tower without anyone knowing until he shows his face in this, again, in the same areas that they would be operating in for fuck all reasons. It was still Robin. Like it gives Robin clone.
Robin clone. I mean, if you think about it, the other Robins are technically clones of each other. They're all trained by the same dude.
No, but we actually have Robin clones, so
I know.
We have Cadmus running around. Like, no, like
yeah, we God, don't bring Cadmus into this. God, it gets so freaking confusing.
Yeah, because body jacking, that's what happens. So, yeah, but that aside, but it's like, yeah, you have the whole Red X thing. You have, they're just pretty much all of the. Everything that was happening in all of the seasons was just them dealing with some form of minor or major manipulation at their expense. And then another thing that it's fun is like it's seen as a like trivia thing that everybody except one person was basically had a dedicated season of like their quote unquote like nemesis, right? Can you guess who it was that didn't have a dedicated season where they were like fighting their nemesis?
I think. Would that be Starfire?
It would be Starfire. Congratulations. Da-da-da-da. Sound effects here. Yes, it was Starfire. Like, she was the only one that didn't get a dedicated Nemesis season. I feel she shouldn't have. And I'm glad that they didn't, because who realistically, within reason of even with Trigon, right? There is a understanding that you could overcome the people, right?
Yeah.
So is it likely? No, but there was still a chance, and there was an ending to the point. It's like even with Slade, we got an ending. Homie died, came back, but he died. Like, we got the end of that, right? Then you have Terra and Slade, which they say it's like, oh, it's the team fighting them, but that's still a Robin Beast Boy. I would say that's more Robin and Beast Boy, because you know, his whole thing with Terra. You have Cyborg with Brother Blood, like we were talking about before, Raven with Trigon, which I only put like kinda, because that was, again, still Slade, but with a little extra.
But still Trigon there.
Yeah, like Trigon's on the back end. It's like, you know, it's Slade with spice. Then you had Beast Boy.
That whole season was focused on Trigon and bringing him to the mortal realm.
Of being like, oh yeah, by the way, he's coming. And it was less of bringing him, more of just making sure he shows up. Like, he was already going to be here. There was no stop. It was just, hey, he's gonna be here. Beast Boy with the Brotherhood of Evil, which was, like I said earlier, was just kind of like this weird culmination of like kind of like the back end of stuff happening. And then
Yeah,
and Starfire's just
I mean,
chilling.
I feel like it was like their way to mostly just bring together all the Titans we've seen throughout the series, and also bring the villains together, and just have like one big epic battle.
Yeah, but it's like what they did with X3. You started putting all these other people that you really never had otherwise, and then now they're here and prevalent. So you're just like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
Like, what? Like, yeah, we had like a hint of them at one point, but it was still like a okay. Um, but yeah, that is the first part of the Teen Titans reevaluation, redive. We're gonna pick up again for the Patreon side of the how I reevaluated the character developments and character like relationships that were being built, and kind of how I don't think we really grasped what was happening. Like, we didn't really fully get it. Because, again, we were children. At best, preteens at the time. So this is obviously something that comes with, experience of existing past that point and knowing all these things. So if you guys want to hear that discussion, be sure to join our Patreon for the little bit of money of $3 to get access to everything up to this point and in the future of content that we do. The con vlogs of 2 years at this point, because we have pictures up from previous year, and now we have the vlogs up, most of them, because Patreon didn't like me and wouldn't let me upload everything. I couldn't do a photo drop of this one because, again, Patreon didn't like me. But we still have it. We have the Discord access as well to our custom server where we do our recordings for when anyone would like to join in for that, to give commentary or just live insight. Gives you the back Q&A stuff, all the fun goodies that come with the Patreon. That is available. So be sure to check that out at patreon.com/dragonsden55. That is the 55 after the Dragon's Den. And we'll see you next time.
bye bye.